Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to make a really famous Malaysian chicken curry, also known as a Nonya Chicken Curry. I'm using a recipe from an episode of Bo's Kitchen. And as always, I'll leave a link to the recipe in the description box below. So let's take a look at the ingredients that you're going to need to whip up this curry. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, and 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds. You're going to need 20 grams of Belachan, which is a shrimp paste. I found this roasted Belachan packet in a local Asian grocery store. Now what I love about this is because it's pre-roasted, you can actually eliminate that step at home. And it comes in these pre-portioned little packets. So I use about one of those blocks for a batch of curry like the one that I'm making today. You're also going to need 4 cloves of garlic, a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and some whole spices. What I have here is 1 star anise, about 3 cloves, and some cinnamon sticks. This is about an inch worth of cinnamon. You're going to need 2 onions, 2 potatoes, about 15 dried red chillies. I've used the Kashmiri chillies, but you can use any dried red chillies that you have. About a kilo to a kilo and a half worth of chicken pieces, a few curry leaves, 2 pandan leaves, a can of coconut cream. This is a 400 ml can of coconut cream, some salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. You're also going to need some cooking oil. I use olive oil for most of my cooking, so that's what I use in this recipe, but you can use any cooking oil that you have. And 2 birdseye chilies. You can use any fresh green or red chilies that you've got on hand. Now we're going to start by deseeding the dried red chilies. What I'm doing is cracking them open and just taking off any of the seeds within. And I'm going to put the deseeded chilies in a separate bowl. You can discard the seeds now. What we're just going to use are the deseeded chilies. Pour some hot water over the chilies so that the chilies are submerged in the water, and you're going to set that bowl aside for about 10 minutes to let the chilies rehydrate and soften. While that's happening, we're going to get the rest of the ingredients ready for our spice paste or Rempah. Now place a dry pan over some medium-high heat, and when that pan has heated, put in your coriander seeds, the fennel and the cumin seeds. What you're going to do is dry roast these seeds till they become nice and fragrant. Now you're going to watch this really closely because the seeds can burn really quick and you don't want the seeds to burn. You just want to let it roast till it's nice and aromatic. Don't forget to stir the spices frequently or swirl the pan around because you don't want the seeds to burn on any side. Once the seeds are fragrant, you will notice that they've also darkened in color a little. You're going to take the seeds off that pan and place them on a plate or in a bowl and leave them aside to cool. Now, once the roasted spices have cooled down, you're going to proceed and make your spice paste. Now, in a food processor or a blender, add your roughly chopped onion, the turmeric powder, garlic, and you're going to crumble in the roasted Belachan or the shrimp paste, and the drained red chilies. Add in the cooled down coriander, cumin, and fennel seeds that we've just roasted, and add a little water to your blender or your food processor just to get things started. About 1/8 of a cup or a couple of tablespoons should be enough. And you're going to grind all the spices to a smooth, fine paste like you see here. And now we're going to start making our curry. I've placed a large pot, or rather pan, on a medium-high heat, and in that goes my cooking oil, in this case olive oil, about 2 tablespoons worth of olive oil. Add your whole spices, that's your cinnamon, clove and your star anise, and let that saute away in the oil for about 20 seconds or so till it gets nice and fragrant. Now we're going to add our spice paste or rempah to the pan. At this stage, lower the heat under the pan to about a low medium so that the spice paste doesn't jump. It does have the tendency to spit a little and jump all over the place for the first few seconds while it's in the pan, but then everything will gradually calm down. And you're going to saute the spice paste for about 6 to 8 minutes or thereabouts, making sure you stir frequently. And this is what the paste looks like about 6 to 8 minutes later. Most of the moisture has evaporated and you're left with a paste that you can actually draw lines through with your spoon. At this stage, you're going to add your curry leaves and your pandan leaves. Now with your pandan leaves, you're going to split them into about 3 pieces lengthwise, like you see me doing right here. And then just to make sure that it doesn't go all over the place in the curry and it's just infusing its flavor in there, you're going to knot all those leaves together. Now this causes the leaves to bruise a little and release all its flavor into the food. Now add the chicken pieces to the pan and you're going to stir that about just to make sure that all the pieces are coated with that spice paste. You're going to let the chicken saute for about a minute or two or till the chicken pieces have just started to turn opaque. Once that happens, you're going to tip in that can of coconut cream. Now don't do away with that can just yet. So once you've added the coconut cream, you can stir that around to make sure that the spice paste and the coconut cream mix together really well. I'm also going to add a little water to the curry. And I'm going to add that water to the can, swirl it around to make sure I've taken out all of that coconut cream and then add the water from there to the pan. Now the next step is to add the cubed potatoes to the pan. I'm going to add a little more water because this sauce is very thick to be a curry right now. So I've added about a half a cup's worth of water. Now you add as much water as you'd like to achieve the consistency in that gravy that you want. Remember to add the water gradually because you can always add more water and thin your curry down. But if you've added extra water to your curry and you've ended up with a really thin sauce, it's going to be really hard to achieve the consistency that you want. Now I'm going to add those 2 birdseye chilies to the curry just to add a little bit of warmth to the flavor. That is why it's just slit in half lengthways and thrown in. At this stage, season the curry with some salt and stir that around. You're also going to add your sugar at this point and stir that through and let the curry come to a boil on medium heat. Once it's come to a boil, lower the heat to a medium low, cover the pot and leave it to simmer. You're going to let the curry cook till the chicken and the potato pieces are tender. About 10 minutes into the cooking, you're going to open the pot very carefully, check the thickness. If you need to add more water, you're going to do that. Stir the curry around to make sure it doesn't burn at the bottom and cover the pot again, continue cooking till everything is cooked through. Just before taking your curry off the heat, check for seasoning and if you need to add a little more salt at this stage. If not, your curry is ready to be served. That's how easy it is to make an amazing Malaysian or Nonya chicken curry. Now, I hope you liked this recipe, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button below. And if you know anyone that will enjoy this recipe, don't forget to share this video with them too. This curry goes really well with rice or with roti canai or any other roti or chapatis or even some crusty bread. So that's all for today, guys. I'll see you again really soon with another delicious recipe. Bye!